As we mentioned before, blood is made up of liquid plasma and also formed elements. If you've ever donated blood, or sometimes when you go to the doctor's office, they might prick your finger in order to take a little sample of blood. When they do that, they're able to take the blood in a test tube or a centrifuge tube, and they can centrifuge it or spin it in a special piece of equipment. And by centrifuging it, it causes the heavier parts of the blood to settle down at the bottom, and the lighter parts of the blood rise up to the top of the tube. And in doing so, we can take a look at the percentage of the different components of the blood that exist in you. And this can be used diagnostically for different things. So first of all, the plasma is the liquid part of the blood here. It's mostly water, but it contains a lot of dissolved and suspended substances. So things like hormones and electrolytes and and proteins and different things are suspended or dissolved in the plasma. The buffy coat, which is a pretty small area here, is made up of the white blood cells and platelets. And so it's a very small amount. And then the hematocrit is where the red blood cells are. And hematocrit is a good indicator of different disorders like anemia. It kind of helps diagnostically to figure out if you've got too many red blood cells or not enough red blood cells in your blood. As you can see here, hematocrit in females is normally between 37 and 47%. In males, the average or the normal range is 42 to 52%. Now, dissolved in the plasma, there are lots of proteins, and a couple that we're going to highlight here are albumin, antibodies, and fibrinogen. So albumin is a protein that helps to transport fatty acids and steroid hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone throughout the bloodstream. Antibodies are proteins involved in the immune response, and we'll talk a little bit more about how they work when we get to the immune system. And fibrinogen is a plasma protein that's involved in blood clotting. So fibrinogen, along with the platelets, helps to cause the blood to clot when necessary. Other things that are either dissolved or suspended in the plasma are things like our electrolytes, which include ions. And if you recall, we need these: sodium, potassium, calcium, as well as some others. But these three here, we've kind of talked about how we need them for muscle contractions and nerve impulses to happen. Dissolved gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide are also found in the plasma. And other organic nutrients, so vitamins, lipids, glucose, amino acids, and also metabolic waste products like urea, uric acid, ammonia, and creatinine. And so when you go to a doctor's office and they collect a sample of blood, they can then take just the plasma portion and do different tests to see how much of each of these things are in your plasma. And that helps them to determine whether you have too much of something or too little of something circulating in your body. In addition to plasma, we also have erythrocytes, which are the red blood cells, or we typically just abbreviate it to RBCs. Leukocytes are white blood cells, which we also just call WBCs. And then platelets are these little cellular fragments here. And in future videos, we'll talk a little bit more about each one of these and their role in the blood and how they help your body to maintain homeostasis and stay healthy and alive.